You alright? Been a while, ain't it? Since my last video. Don't know if you heard, but there was this whole coronavirus thing that sort of ruined everything. So, yeah. Obviously I had a lot of plans for this year. I was going travelling, I was challenging myself to try new things and all that, and it was just all sort of brought to a halt by everything going on and being in lockdown and everything. But the world is slowly starting to get back to normal, so I'm back. Obviously, travelling videos might be a way off still, but I'm back with a new challenge video, and it's a big one. As you can see by the title, I'm going to be attempting to train for my first ever marathon in just 30 days. Yeah, I don't know what I'm thinking either. I've been what I would call consistently running for about a year and a half now, and then I've also been weight training and trying to bulk up a bit for just under a year. So I'm still fairly new to the whole exercising regularly world. And you know, I think I do okay. I mean, I'm by no means an athlete, obviously, but I work out 4 times a week. I follow a push-pull-legs workout schedule. And then I also do 1 run a week that's usually between 5 to 10k. My 10k time is around 50 minutes, so you know, it's nothing special, but it's pretty decent, I think. You know, I wouldn't call that slow. I'm pretty happy with it, at least for now. And so of course, the next logical step in my fitness journey is to train for my first ever marathon in just 30 days, right? No, it's definitely not. But fuck it, you know? This channel and this whole year of my life was supposed to be all about pushing myself and challenging myself before the whole coronavirus thing happened. And I can't think of many more challenging things to attempt than this, so we're gonna go for it. I am of course going to be following a training routine because, you know, I need some sort of guidance on how to build up my tolerance for a 26-mile run. I found this one by marathonbasics.com, which, you know, if we're just going off name, they probably know what they're talking about. And before they can dictate what sort of schedule you should follow, there's a quick fitness test that you need to take. So let's do that first. Ooh, new camera angle, very exciting. Okay, so there's a few quick questions that we need to answer, and then it asks how quickly we can run a mile. So, have you done any regular running activity in the last few months? 0 equals never, 1 equals once a month, 2 equals twice a month, 3 equals once a week or more. I run once a week, so that's a 3. Have you done any regular physical fitness in the last few months that doesn't involve running? I work out 3 times a week. So again, it's another 12 points. What type of job do you have? 0 equals none / sedentary / desk work. Yeah. I mean, I don't need to go through the rest. That's me, so don't score anything there. If you were to guess in a week, how many miles do you walk? 0 equals don't know / not much. 1 is 2 to 5 miles, 2 is 5 to 10 miles, and 3 is 10 plus miles. Well, I have a dog, and I walk her like 4 to 5 times a week, and we do probably like hour-long walks most times. And then, as I say, I also run once a week, so I'd say 10 plus miles really, so it's another 3 points. If you walk up 3 flights of stairs, will you be 0 equals very winded, feel bad, 1 equals breathing heavy but feel okay, 2 equals noticeable breathing but could continue up more stairs, and 3 equals fine, barely noticed it. Yeah, I mean 3 flights of stairs, should you really be out of breath from 3 flights of stairs? I mean, I'm not judging, but yeah, I'd be fine. I would barely notice it. So 3 points, cool. So that brings us to a total of 12 points. Okay, let's see what that gives us. 12 to 15, which is us. Ding, 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 we have a winner. You have a good base of physical fitness. Thank you. Not only can you finish a marathon with 30 days of training, but you might be able to finish a major part of it running. That is the aim. So cool. Good sign so far. And then we have a mile speed test. I'm not actually going to do it because I've already worked out today. I did a pull workout, so I'm a bit tired. I know sort of what it takes me to run a mile. 7 to 8:59 minutes. Well done. You have a good level of speed fitness. Thank you. That was very easy. And now with those 2 points, we can figure out what sort of schedule we're looking at doing. So Our next step is to figure out a training category for our 30-day schedule. We will do 2 basic categories. Marathon runner, if you scored 11 or more points on the fit test questions, we did, we got 12, and did the mile speed test in less than 9 minutes, we did, takes me about 7:45. You're likely in good enough shape to not only finish a marathon, but to try to run a majority or all of it. Yes, I am going to be attempting to run pretty much all of it. So we can do the marathon runner schedule, which is the top one. So I guess that's good. I mean, it's going to be harder, but you know, that's a good sign. So with all that information, I guess there's nothing left to do except start training for a marathon. Honestly, what am I doing? So here we are, day 1 of my marathon training plan. I'm aware I look like some sort of American surfer bellend. I just wear a cap like this when I run, just because of like the sweat and everything. I don't actually wear caps like this, don't worry. But yeah, today I just need to walk a mile, then I run a mile and a half, and then I walk the last half mile. So it's 3 miles in total. And it's weird, I feel like, at least for the first week or so, it's gonna feel like a step backwards to what I'm used to, because, you know, I generally sort of run 5 miles just as a standard run, and then obviously today I'm walking a mile, running a mile and a half, walking another half mile, so it's going backwards from what I'm used to. So yeah, it's gonna be weird, but obviously it's the consistency of the running and everything. Like, I'm running pretty much every day, whereas usually I'd run like once a week and then that's it, and then I'd have a big break. Obviously I'd have my other workouts in between that, but yeah, it's going to be the consistency and then obviously building it up. Like, it's not going to be running a mile and a half very long. I'm pretty sure in a couple of weeks I'll be running like 10 miles, so you know, we'll see how we go. But yeah, day 1 shouldn't be too bad. So it is day 7. We've reached the end of the first week, and today is a rest day, thank God. Yeah, it's safe to say that the whole, you know, oh, it's going to be a step back and, you know, it might be too easy attitude that I had in day 1 didn't last too long. It very quickly progressed, and yesterday I ran 5 miles, which equates to about 8k. And before this whole training program that I'm doing, the furthest single run I'd done is 10k. So I'm already pretty much at my longest ever run, and obviously I'm running pretty much every day of the week. And that's the main thing that I'm taking from all of this, and the main part that's making it difficult is just the consistency, like having to go out and run pretty much every day. As I say, today is a rest day. I had one other rest day this week, but even on those you have to go and walk 2 miles, which obviously is just me walking my dog. But it's getting out there every day when you're achy and you're tired and you don't want to run, and you have to go and run again. And pretty much from day 1, I've seemed to have, you know, achy legs and what I think are probably some shin splints and things, which usually I don't get when I run. Usually I'm pretty fine. Like, I'm a bit obviously tired after a run, but my legs are generally feeling okay. But this week has been rough. Like, my legs are achy. I'm sort of hobbling about after I finish each run. So yeah, it's tough, and I'm hoping as we continue, my body will just sort of get used to the fact that I'm running so frequently. Otherwise, we might start having problems. So it's been a couple of days and a couple of runs since we last spoke, and we've run into a slight hiccup. So I've said before that pretty much since the beginning, I've had some pains and some aches after every run. I sort of struggle to walk a bit and have to hobble about for a couple of hours after every run, but usually it subsides by the next day and I'm okay to run. But after yesterday's run, my left ankle especially felt pretty rough, and it was really difficult to walk after that. And it hasn't really let up today. It's still quite painful to walk and I'm still sort of hobbling about. So I was due a rest day tomorrow anyway, so I've made the executive decision to take another rest day today. So I'm not running today, so I'm going to rest up today and tomorrow, and then come day 12, fingers crossed, the ankle will be okay. My legs would have had, you know, a bit of rest, and then we can get back on the horse and go through the rest of the plan full pelt. So we are on day 20 now. We are 2/3 of the way through this challenge. It's been tough so far, and it's going to get tougher because today we have by far the biggest run I've ever done. Today I have to run 11 miles, which is about 18 kilometers, which is verging on half marathon territory. A half marathon is 23 kilometers. This is just 5k less than a half marathon. And up to now, the longest run I've done is 11k. So I did 11k in this plan. I'd done a 10k before that, but 11k is the biggest I've done, and this is 18. So we've got a 7k step up. So yeah, I think this is gonna be tough. Usually when I run, I like to run completely silent. I don't have any music, I don't have any podcasts, which I know a lot of people find weird. I know a lot of people struggle with that and sort of need music to run, but I just quite enjoy sort of the silence. I enjoy the time to think and to reflect and to just be in myself and be in my own thoughts. But for a run of this magnitude, I'm gonna need some help. So got a couple of podcasts, I'm gonna lock in, focus in, power through this run hopefully, and I'll speak to you at the end when I'm done, and yeah, we'll see how we got on.
One eternity later.
So I'm back home 11 miles later, all refreshed and showered. That's why you're getting this lovely wet hair, combed back look. You are welcome. And it wasn't actually as bad as I expected it to be honest. I ran 10 of the miles and then walked 1 mile, because I did like a half mile warm-up walk, and then obviously I walked back at the end. And yeah, I mean, it was tough and draining and I was tired during it, but there was never any point when I thought like, I can't do this, I can't finish this, Obviously I took a few breaks during it. I would generally run 2 miles and then I would take a 2-minute walking break and then run another 2 miles, and I did that obviously until I had done 10 miles. I will put my run here so you can see sort of my stats, but it took me an hour and a half, so that's about an 8-minute mile pace, I believe. I burnt something like 1,200 calories, 10 miles, so yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. If I could sort of keep that pace and not take too many breaks during the actual marathon, then I think I should be coming in around something like 4.5 hours for the entire marathon, which would be great. My goal when I started this has always been a sub 5 hour marathon. So if I can end up hitting like 4.5 hours or 4 hours and 40 minutes, that would be a huge achievement. And yeah, for my first sort of big run, I'm pretty happy with how it went. I'm not going to do anything else for the rest of the evening. I'm just going to sit on my sofa, make a massive bowl of pasta, and yeah, rest my legs. So we've had a brief, somewhat forced intermission. I haven't run for about 10 days, I think, because I did the 10-mile run, and then obviously I needed a couple of days of rest after that because I was struggling after. My legs were already obviously dead. I'd already had a sort of niggling ankle injury, and that was playing up. So it took like 2-3 days off for that. And then, as it does, life just sort of got in the way. I had some work that I needed doing one day that took all day. I was walking around for like 9 hours doing different work, did like 40,000 steps. Obviously in the middle of doing this marathon plan, that sort of took me out. And then I had to travel to Brighton the day after for a viewing, because I'm moving there in a week, so that took like pretty much all day. And then obviously, as I say, I'm moving next week, so I'm busy sort of with that. I'm busy packing, busy getting things ready for that. I've been busy for the last like 2-3 weeks, finding new housemates, finding somewhere to live, looking for viewings and all of that. So it's been a busy time in and amongst all of this. So yeah, life just sort of got in the way. I couldn't really fit in runs. I had too much other stuff going on, more important things. But everything's sorted now. I've got a place. I'm moving next week. I'm ready to crack on with the final week of this plan, get through it, and then it's all about tackling that marathon. So I've just got a full mile run today, so not too bad, about 6k, just to ease me back into it. And then I've got, I think, a 15-mile run. That's my biggest run this week and will be the biggest I've done. And then yeah, marathon time.
So, it's been about a week and a half since I last spoke to you and since my last run, and a lot has happened in that time. As I'm sure you can tell, I'm filming in a new room because I have finally moved to Brighton, like I mentioned before. I've been ill for pretty much that entire time. You can probably still hear it a bit now. I'm still not fully over it. But one thing that hasn't been happening in that time is running. So sadly, I think I'm going to have to give myself the first fail of these challenge videos that I'm doing. I was going to film this end bit earlier. I was going to film it like the day after my last run, but then I got so busy with packing and other things, and then obviously I got ill, as I mentioned, so I just didn't have the energy to film anything. So as I say, it's been a while now, so I'll try my best to sort of take myself back and remember everything that was going through my head at that time, and sort of give you a bit of an insight into why I decided to call it a day on the plan and not go for the marathon. So I've been experiencing little niggling issues since pretty much day one of the plan, which I've mentioned throughout this video. I've been having ankle issues. Mainly my right ankle has been quite dodgy. I've also had knee issues. I have this sort of ongoing knee injury in my right knee from an injury when I was younger, and that's been sort of playing up as well. So I haven't really been 100% throughout the entire plan. And then in the last few days and the last few runs, my ankle especially just got to a point where I didn't feel it was sensible or made sense really to risk aggravating it any further and cause myself a serious injury. My last run was 5 miles, and like half a mile into the run, my ankle was done. Like, it was shot to bits, and I was sort of hobble running throughout the entire run. I was contemplating, calling it a day then and there and not even finishing that run. But, I thought, I can do this. I can push through this, because with a 5 mile run, once you get to 2 miles, you're like, okay, it's just 3 more. And then you get to 3 miles and you're like, okay, it's just 2 more. You can sort of forget the injury and the pain and just sort of get through it. But if I'm doing a marathon and I start experiencing serious ankle issues, like a mile in, the finish line is not in sight there. There is a very big difference between doing a 5 mile run and thinking, okay, I can get through these last 4 miles, and doing a marathon and thinking, okay, I can get through these last 25 miles. So yeah, for the sake of not giving myself a real serious injury, just days before I was due to pack all of my belongings into a van and move across the country, which I've now done, I decided it was best to call it a day then and there and give myself a fail. But the thing is, I say a fail, but I'm really happy with what I've managed to achieve. There's only 3 runs in this whole plan that I didn't get to do. There's an 8 mile run, a 15 mile run, and then obviously the marathon run. So that's a lot of distance. I mean, it's practically 2 marathons, but in terms of actual runs, there's only 3 I didn't do, and I have ran way more in the last 4 weeks than I have ever in my life before. Before this, I would typically do 1 5k a week, and I would do that alongside my weight routine, which was a push-pull legs workout schedule. These last 4 weeks, I've ran 70 miles, which is the equivalent of 112 kilometers, and I've walked another 55 kilometers alongside that. So that is like way more. That's like 10 months, I think, of what I would do usually. Like, it would take me 10 months doing 5k a week to achieve what I've done in these last 4 weeks. So, I have to be proud of that. And that's another thing, is that usually my main focus is weight workouts. It's trying to build muscle, trying to build some mass. These last 4 weeks, I have had no time or energy to do a weight workout, because obviously after doing a 5 mile or an 8 mile or a 10 mile run, I just don't have the energy to then go and do a weight workout. So I haven't done any of my usual weight workouts for this entire month. And with muscles, it's not like you get to a certain size and then you're like, okay, that's it. I am at least this big for the rest of my life. Like, no, you have to keep that up and continue to work out. Otherwise, that size just goes. And in this last month, when I haven't been able to do my weight workouts, I do feel like I've lost some size and some mass. Obviously I wasn't Arnie before. I'm not big at all. And maybe it's all in my head anyway. Maybe I haven't lost any of that muscle. But I've been working hard for over a year to try and build a bit of muscle and a bit of size. And to feel like you can see that just sort of disappearing in front of you because you're not able to do those workouts for almost an entire month, you know, it's gonna feel pretty shit. So yeah, I'm not a runner. It's not my main interest. It's not my main passion. I'm looking forward to getting back to the weight workouts and trying to build some muscle and some size and continuing to supplement that with the runs and the cardio as I have been doing. I've shown myself that I can do these long distance runs and do them pretty well, I think. I mean, during this whole plan, I was averaging like a 7:30 mile, which I think is pretty good. And yeah, I reckon one day very soon, I'll get that marathon in the bag.